Have you ever had someone knock on your door? Not to ask for help, not to complain, but to tell you they're taking your property? Because that's exactly what happened to me. No court order. No judge. No warning. Just a smug HOA president standing on my porch, clipboard in hand, smiling like he'd already won. And the craziest part? They thought they were legally allowed to seize my land. They sent letters. They posted notices. They even brought a lawyer. But what they didn't realize, what they absolutely failed to read, was one single clause buried deep in the original property documents. A clause that would turn their power trip into the most expensive mistake this HOA had ever made. Stick with me, because this isn't just an HOA story. This is a story about arrogance, about intimidation, and about how reading one paragraph can save you hundreds of thousands of dollars. I bought my property almost 10 years ago. Quiet suburban neighborhood, tree-lined streets, single-family homes. The kind of place where everyone waves but no one actually talks. There was an HOA, but at first it seemed harmless. $75 a month. Rules about lawn height. No pink fences. No parking RVs on the street. Annoying? Sure. But manageable. The property itself was slightly unusual. Behind my house was a large wooded strip of land, about half an acre, that extended farther back than most lots. The realtor called it bonus land. It wasn't fenced. It wasn't developed. Just trees, brush, and a small clearing I used for a shed and fire pit. The listing clearly said, included with deed. I checked. Twice. County records showed it belonged to me. So I bought the house. And for years nothing happened. Until the HOA got new leadership. Everything changed when Mark became HOA president. If you've ever dealt with an HOA, you know the type. Retired. Too much free time. Loves rules more than people. Within months, fines started flying. Grass half an inch too tall? $50. Trash can visible for more than 6 hours? $75. Mailbox color slightly off-white? Violation notice. Then one day I got a letter. Not a fine. A notice of non-compliant land use. That was the first red flag. The letter claimed that the wooded area behind my house was common HOA land, and that my use of it, my shed, fire pit, and occasional cleanup, was unauthorized. I laughed. I genuinely thought it was a mistake. I emailed back with a copy of my deed. No response. A week later, another letter arrived. This one said, failure to cease unauthorized use may result in reclamation of property by the association. Reclamation. That word stuck with me. I attended the next HOA meeting. Packed room. Folding chairs. Coffee that tasted like regret. When they opened the floor, I stood up. I calmly explained that the land was mine. That it was part of my deed. That county record supported this. Mark smiled. That smile you get when someone thinks you're wrong and enjoys it. He said, our records show that land was originally designated as shared green space. You're mistaken. I asked to see the records. He said they'd get back to me. They never did. Instead, I got another letter. This one included a deadline. 30 days to remove all structures and vacate the land. Or else. I hired a real estate attorney. Not cheap, but worth it. He reviewed my deed, survey, and county plat maps. Then he frowned. Not at me. At the HOA. He said something I'll never forget. They're either incompetent, or they're hoping you don't fight back. Apparently, the HOA was referencing an old development plan from before the neighborhood was built. In that draft plan, the land had been considered communal. But the plan was never finalized that way. The final recorded plat, filed, approved, and legally binding, listed the land as part of my lot. Clear as day. My attorney sent them a formal letter. With documentation. They ignored it. Instead, they did something unbelievable. One Saturday morning, I woke up to noise. Chainsaws. Voices. I walked out back and froze. 2 men in safety vests were marking trees with orange paint. A temporary sign was staked into the ground. Future Community Park, HOA property. I lost it. I demanded to know who authorized this. One worker showed me paperwork. Signed by the HOA president. Claiming authority over the land. I called the police. The officer arrived, reviewed both sides, and said, "This looks like a civil dispute," which meant they wouldn't intervene. The HOA had crossed a line. And they knew it. That night, my attorney called me. He'd been digging through old county archives, microfilm records, original developer filings. And that's when he found it. A single clause in the original land transfer agreement between the developer and the HOA. Buried deep. Ignored. Overlooked. The clause stated, "Any land not expressly deeded to the association at time of recording shall remain private property of the assigned lot owner, and the association waives all future claims thereto." In plain English, if the HOA didn't officially receive the land at the time of recording, they could never claim it later. Ever. And guess what? They didn't. That clause destroyed their entire case. We didn't just defend. We went on offense. We sued the HOA for trespass, harassment, attempted unlawful seizure, damage to property, legal intimidation. Discovery was brutal. Emails surfaced. Internal HOA messages. Mark had written, "If we push hard enough, he'll probably give up." Most homeowners do. That email alone was worth gold. The HOA's attorney quit mid-case. They settled 3 weeks later. The settlement included full acknowledgement that the land was Minea, permanent injunction preventing future claims, removal of Mark as HOA president, payment of my legal fees, compensation for damages. But the best part? The HOA had to send a formal letter to every homeowner admitting fault. Publicly. In writing. Mark moved 6 months later. The HOA never tried anything like that again. Here's the lesson. HOAs rely on fear. On silence. On homeowners assuming they're powerless. But paperwork matters. Clauses matter. And arrogance is expensive. So if an HOA ever tells you they're taking something from you, make them prove it. Because one sentence, one overlooked clause, can bring an entire power structure crashing down. If you've ever dealt with an insane HOA, or you're dealing with one right now, hit like, subscribe, and comment your story below. Because trust me, you're not alone.